we're still on the show, reaching from the Advent Cable Network Nigeria studio here in the capital city of Abuja. And now we are on to the sports segment. But remember, I will not be doing this alone. I'm not alone in the studio. I have my co-anchor, Mr. Godwin Ojirion. Godwin.
Thank you so much, Ebuka.
Say sports good morning.
Speaking sport language. Yes, sports good morning, like rightly said by Ebuka here. This is the time where we speak sports, we talk sport, we discuss sport, and everything that has to do with sport, both home and abroad. So please just keep glued to your TV set while we dissect all that matters this morning.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Godwin. Also, we still have in the studio Mr. Raphael Ojaokomo, who is a sports commentator. Mr. Raphael.
I'll answer you in a sporting way by saying, now we have come to where I love.
Okay, this is not sporting
we can dwell here now. We can dwell here now.
Thank you, Mr. Alpha. Before we begin the discussion this morning, let's read out or take a look at the front page of the Punch Sports Extra. And the Punch Sports Extra has Italy's story on Europe's most wanted, Onyedika on PSG, Bayern, Milan, Dortmund, Porto's radar ahead of transfer deadline day. All right, and this same young man scored a goal against Man City yesterday night, and the story is on page 7 of the Punch Sports Extra. All right, above the masthead we have Al Nassr may dump Boniface for Duran, the Aston Villa striker. All right, that's on page 6. Page 7 has Sociedad I move for Chukwueze, and on page 7 Napoli rejects Gala's 65 million bid for Osimhen. All right, that's on page 7. Page 3 has a story on FCSB versus Man United. Devils 6 lack 16 tickets in Romania. All right, so another story on page 5 says City warned over Haaland's contract extension. That's on page 5. Page 8 has the story on Rashford Amory not on talking terms. Page 4 now have the story on the case with the story on Saha tells United to sign Pogba. Finally, page 3 on that side of the paper has the story on Ancelotti expects Vinicius' Madrid stay. At the bottom story says cricket, Uday shines as Nigeria ends World Cup in style. That's on page 2. And page 2 also have the story, which is the last story on this paper this morning. It says I am better now than 2024. That's coming from Adesanya. And all right, so back here in the studio, let's now talk sports. Well, let's and foremost from the CAF AFCON 2025 draws, and it might delight you to know that the draw took place just a couple of days ago, and we now know our fifth whom we are up against on the forthcoming AFCON 2025 competition. All right, Group A has teams like Comoros, Mali, Morocco, which is a host country, and Zambia. And Group B, we have countries like Angola, Egypt, South Africa, and Zimbabwe. And our own group, the Nigerian group, is our Group C, where we have Nigeria, Tanzania, Tunisia, and Uganda. Whenever we talk about Nigeria and Tunisia, it plays back a memory in my head. But I have different concepts now because I understand football more than I used to understand it before. Group D has teams Benin, Botswana, DR Congo, and the reigning champions Senegal.
No.
No. Côte d'Ivoire. Oh, sorry. The reigning champions are Côte d'Ivoire. The champions before Côte d'Ivoire, Senegal. All right. So thank you. Group E has the teams like Algeria, Burkina Faso, Equatorial Guinea, and Sudan. And then the reigning champions are on Group F, where we have Cameroon, Ivory Coast, the reigning champions, Gabon, and Mozambique. So let's talk about these groups. Mr. Raphael, do you think this group would see new stars coming up? Do you see challenges? Do you see What generally, what do you think about this?
I want to believe that going from what's it called, the last AFCON, a lot of things happened at the last AFCON. Miracles happened. Judging from how the host team almost didn't make it out of the group stage, and they went on to win the tournament.
Exactly.
And then you also have teams springing surprises, teams like Cape Verde, and Cape Verde now is not going to be in this tournament. Do you understand me?
Yeah, they
We have
qualify.
big shots like Ghana not taking part, even though one of them brought Sudan to this Nations Cup as the coach. So let's not also forget the officiating at the AFCON, which was top notch, to the point that people were asking the refs in EPL, PGML to come and learn whatever it is that the Africans are doing, because we had a very clean game, no controversy at all. But this time around, we believe that the tournament is going to be top notch, and nobody at any point in time should think any team here is a walkover. There was a time nobody knew what the country Comoros was, but now Comoros is appearing the third time straight in the AFCON. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
And we had teams like Uganda coming back. You're going to see a battle between South Africa and Angola, and also Egypt. Let's not forget Egypt. And it's going to be a very beautiful tournament. It's going to be a beautiful tournament. We just look forward to it and hope that our team Nigeria does well. When you were talking about Tunisia, the what's it called? There are some flashbacks you have.
Yeah, exactly. That's
I remember 2004, where we lost in the semi-finals via penalty to Tunisia. I remember 2019, after beating all the team in the group stage, we met Tunisia in the round of 16, and they knocked the Eagles out. So they've become something else entirely to Nigeria. I also remember one of our World Cup qualifiers where they came to the Abuja Stadium to play a 2-2 draw, and we needed that point. Do you understand me? So, and let's not also take away the fact that Uganda almost stopped the group that South Africa came out from, when they went to South Africa and shocked South Africa before South Africa came and pulled two back. And then you have Tanzania, which I believe they're talking about now as one of the newest surprise team of the continent.
The continent, exactly. All right, so looking at groups, Nigerian's group, that's the Super Eagles joined in Group C for the 2025 AFCON. You just made mention of some of the teams there. What challenges do you see on that team? Do you think Nigeria will come out? Do you think Tunisia will come back to play back memory on us? As you know, they used to say commonly in the layman's language, say, "This is now my wife now, come German will go beat them." All right, and such teams like Uganda and Tanzania might not be as strong as Tunisia and Nigeria has in records, but now they are like the underdogs of football in this part of the continent.
I don't think they are minnows in football anymore. I don't think they are minnows in football. Mind you, we're playing the World Cup qualifiers where Nigeria has not been able to beat teams like Zimbabwe, Lesotho. And Rwanda. Do you understand me? And even struggled. We played Benin. I think we've played Benin like 3 times. We only defeated them once. They got one over us at the World Cup qualifier. We defeated them once and got a draw, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Now you have Uganda. Like I told you, Uganda sprung a surprise in their group stage, only coming second to South Africa, just by losing, I think, the last game they lost against South Africa. And then you have Tanzania. Tunisia, we've had cases where we've even played the same Tunisia in the group stage in the Nations Cup in 2000, where I think we defeated them by 2-0. But one thing I'm always glad about the Nigerian team, but I don't want this idea of underrating teams when you're playing them, because you can be surprised at any point in time. But Nigeria has never had an issue of qualifying from group stage. If you check our records, we've never had issues of qualifying out of the group stage. So I think Nigeria is going to pull out of this group. Whoever joins us, Nadem Sabi. But I know we are going to come out of that group stage.
All right. I think Mr. Raf is speaking very well, like the Nigerian he is.
Yeah. He
and
should be supporting and rooting for
yes,
his country.
indeed. But Ebuka, just to add up to what he has said, I love the fact that you brought the issue of the underdogs. And last tournament, you agree with me that we experienced a whole lot of that. Teams springing up with surprises, and those you think will make it are actually being trashed out. And but one thing I love with the Nigerian team is that we don't underestimate any team we are faced with, and hopefully this time around with the likes of Eric Shell coming to man the position as the head coach, we would do better. But at the same time, if I just want to speak generally on the grouping for Group C, which Nigeria belonged to, I would add my voice to Raf to say we definitely would do well there. Given our last performance, we are also not a team that Tunisia should. We are a team that Tunisia should watch out for if they actually want to qualify. But at the same time, we would not underestimate the likes of Tanzania and Uganda in that same team. Then one team that is of utmost concern to me is the Group A, that has the likes of Morocco and Mali. Ralph spoke about Comoros and the rest springing up surprises. People never knew them before and they are coming up. But I don't think it would be an easy, a jolly good ride for the likes of Morocco in this team. They're actually a good footballing nation, but with what we are seeing presently in the football scene, it will not just go easy on them. They will just have to stamp their foot on the ground so that the same experience that happened with the last host will not be
their lot.
Yes, their lot this time around. Then one other strong team I see again is in the likes of Senegal, that is on Group D. Senegal as against the likes of DR Congo, and Cote d'Ivoire in Group F as against the likes of Cameroon. It won't be an easy encounter. We would only, for me as a spectator, we are looking out for actions, and it's actually going to be an interesting one for all of us to watch out for. These teams are great, and they will do well. All right, moving on now, Mr. Raf, just to ask, because Morocco is the host, and we saw what the last host, the country of Cote d'Ivoire did the last time, and now we're looking at them announcing 9 stadiums for AFCON 2025 tournament. Do you think that and also just to bring your attention to the fact that Morocco have not hosted this competition for a very long time. I think since the 80s, if I'm not mistaken, they have not hosted, and they are coming in as a new host, announcing 9 stadiums that over time they have prepared to host major competition. Do you think that this stadium is sufficient enough for all of these games? And do they have the fan base, if I may use that word, to fill all of these stadiums?
One thing I've learned over time is that the North African countries, whenever you have tournaments, even CAF competitions like the Champions League and the Confederation Cup, you always have the stadium packed full. How they do it, I don't know. You always have the stadium packed full. And let's not also forget that Morocco just recently hosted the WAFCON, the women version of the Nations Cup. So most of these facilities were in good shape, and some of these stadiums are stadiums that are used by some of their home teams like the Raja Casablancas and co. So what I think they might just need to do, I don't think they're building anyone from scratch, because the tournament is in December. So it's begs to tell you that these facilities are in place, and CAF would have gone to inspect them. Because if they have not been inspected and then deemed fair, fit for the tournament, I don't think any of them would be mentioned for such tournaments. And mind you, nine stadiums are going to be used. There's some tournaments that we've seen that we only had 5 stadiums being used, and we're still able to cater for the whole tournaments. I think Morocco should be able to pull their own weight without mixing words. They'll be able to hold their own.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Hopefully, like you said, that over time they have proven to be a footballing nation, and the support they get from their crowd is from the home is good. But my own concern now is I hope it wouldn't be a situation where if it is not the home that is playing,
you and I know that that's the norm.
Okay.
That's the norm. You may not get filled to capacity if the home team is not playing. Yes, we know that in maybe African setting or like Europeans where even Nigeria is playing Benin in the World Cup, you see the stadium packed full and what have you. But like I said, they've had that system work for them. Countries like Egypt, Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria. Even if you come down to South Africa, you find when Pirates is playing what's it called, Sundowns or what have you, the stadium is packed full. This is a system that they are used to. Like I rightfully said, you may not get filled to capacity, but at least you won't find an empty stadium where you start hearing the footballer's voice shouting pass, 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 all this kind of empty.
As it happened during COVID.
During COVID, do you understand me? But I believe they have a system that works for them already. How they are able to go about it, we don't know. But over time, like I said, has been working for them in terms of their local league. If you watch their local league, you see the stadium packed full. But you may just mention something now, and like I said, it's a norm. Okay. In African setting, if it's not our team that is playing, why am I going to watch? The when the home team is playing, the stadium is packed full. But I think Morocco has gone beyond that. And mind you, also have countries who their supporters will be traveling from all corners to want to come and see these games.
Yeah, because competitions like this open up a nation for economic activities, such
tourism and the likes.
Attractions and the likes. They're talking about Godwin. We were talking about the stadium. I noticed that one city houses about 4 of the stadiums that will be used for this competition, and then on the other 5 that cuts across other parts of Morocco. Is it that Rabat is a football hub in Morocco?
You might want to say that again, because for you to cite at least 4 standard stadium, you know, like we have in England where you have North London, where you have what's it called, Tottenham and Arsenal in North London. Mind you, there are still other facilities in North London. The same way you have Manchester United and Manchester City. It doesn't mean there are not other stadiums around that place. It just goes to show you how much of football that state enjoys. Do you understand? So I think that's what is playing out here in Rabat. And we also think they may have some other teams who use, mind you, after tournament doesn't mean those facilities will go to sleep.
Yeah, like, because Morocco is hosting not less than 3 African competitions in their host country this year. We have the WAFCON, we have the this current one we're talking about, the AFCON competition, and all of these are happening within this same cycle.
Now, for CAF to be able to cite those in Morocco, that's what I was saying when you asked the question, that those facilities must have been checked and certified fit for these tournaments before they are even maybe given sometimes they give them the right to host these tournaments, saying that they have the facilities, maybe they just need a little bit touch here and there. And these tournaments will be in December, and before now in December, I want to believe that everything will be put in place.
Yeah, but there's also the WAF, the Women African Cup of Nations, just not too long from now. That's in July, before the December competition. Yeah. Thank you, Godwin. All right. So up next we have the story on CAF election, and our own picnic is on the final court. The list. Pinnick is on the court, the list of persons that are eligible for the election. And shockingly, the president of the Cameroon Football Federation, Samuel Eto'o, who has long been wishing to be part or to be the president of CAF, is not on the list. I wonder what could probably maybe as a result of some of the issues ongoing in Cameroon over the appointments and what have you. So, Raphael, do you think Eto missing out from this list is a good omen for young footballers who had finished their profession and now have the will or the desire to run as spearheads of this confederation?
I don't want to believe so. What I would think someone like him would do is find out why he didn't make the cut and work towards the next one. Giving up would mean whatever it is that you just said right now. Do you understand me? It's just to find out whatever it is that has made him not make that list. And mind you, most of those people that made the list are already part of the CAF system.
Yeah, they are. They are old hands already.
They're already part of the CAF system, and it's just coming from. So things don't. This is politics. This is politics that we're talking about. But my own concern is that wherever it is that ends up in the business of African football, should make sure they take it from wherever it is right at the moment to another level entirely. I just talked about the refereeing at the last AFCON. Yes, we saw how even the world praised Africa for what they did. Do you understand me? And like I rightfully said, some people even went as far as saying maybe they should come and learn from Africa, from countries, especially England, with the whole controversy that you get week in, week out. Come and learn from how these people were able to pull this thing off, even with VAR, and we didn't have any issues. Do you understand me? So mine is not even about who goes in or who doesn't go in. Mine is about improving the game of football in Africa.
All right, Mr. Raf, we actually do hear you loud and clear there, but still sticking to that as regards Phoenix and the rest, and as regards CAF election. And this is coming at a time where we're looking towards a tournament coming up, and this is politics. Do you see it affecting anything?
It's not a case where we are talking about maybe someone or some people bidding for a tournament. We already have the tournament set in place, and we're just waiting for the dates to come so we can play such tournaments. And mind you, we recently had the CHAN, that's the local based AFCON, that was postponed to August thereabouts. So we have a lot of these tournaments going. So I don't think whatever it is that they are doing in the CAF body would affect anything that has to do with the tournament itself.
Plans are already on ground.
They're already on ground,
ready for execution. Yeah, all right. Thank you. So, do you just remember you can be part of this show by calling the number showing on your screen or sending your comment via various social media handle. We'd like to hear your views about what we've discussed so far. The AFCON 2025 grouping, Nigerians group in Group C. What we look out for, or what we wish to see in the forthcoming AFCON that will run from December 2025. All right, so we'll move ahead now, and Godwin, what's the next story we'll take on this morning show?
All right, thank you so much. I think the next story we have is that on the ex-Super Eagles coach applauding Ndidi and Leicester City Day. A whole lot of applaud coming to that young charm day. So, Mr. Raf, just to bring you in now in this conversation, is it worth it?
Me, I don't know why. I don't know why you're applauding Ndidi. Maybe
his performance over time in Leicester City. And also, let's put it side by side with Iwobi. Iwobi is now.
Let's not go there. Let's not compare Iwobi and Ndidi. The question you want to ask is, maybe we would need to read further on that story to find out why he's applauding Ndidi, because for the past how many games now, Leicester has not been anything good at all. They just won their just one game in how many games against Tottenham, which of course every one of us know is struggling. Maybe that is what is congratulating him or giving him thumbs up for, I don't know. But at the moment, I don't think. Anyways, I'm not before somebody will tell me, call me bad belly, like somebody said, from nowhere Iwobi has become something that nobody understands. If you watch the game against Manchester United, you will almost doubt that this is Iwobi playing. If he doesn't turn his back for you, let's even ignore the face. If he doesn't turn his back for you to see his name written on the back that this is Iwobi, you would almost doubt that this is the same person that is almost all the time the scapegoat whenever the Super Eagles is playing, especially in the last AFCON.
Yeah, I was just killing bed anyhow.
We've all come to understand that, and this is something that these coaches need to understand. Whatever plan you want to execute, get the right players to do it for you. Don't just pick every Tom, Dick, and Harry and use them, because all you end up doing is destroying the player's career. Because all everybody will be seeing is a bad player, not knowing that he is actually playing a role that you want him to play. Do you understand me? He will be in the AFCON, was supposed to, I think, be one of the holding midfielders, not attacking as he used to be. And everybody wanted to see him move. Do you understand me? But we're not talking about Iwobi here. We're talking about Ndidi.
Yeah,
I don't know why you're applauding him.
The upload is coming as a result, just like you mentioned, as a result of Leicester City defeating Tottenham Hotspur.
I hope it continues.
Yeah, that's why they said he's applauding Ndidi and his teammates for their impressive performance against Tottenham Hotspur.
I hope it's not a flash in the pan. After they clap once, the next game they wipe them again. Do you understand me? So I think it's a good one. You know, when they say when you do well, you tell the person well done. Do you understand? And hope that it spurs the person on to do better, and by that also improving the person's confidence. And on the long run, the Nigerian team enjoys their form.
All right, and just to moving on very quickly because of time, there's this big one I call it the big elephant that we need to trash out this morning, and this has to do with Osimhen and Galatasaray being accused of cheating, and also as a match fixing allegation rages on. This is our own, and he has been doing well thus far. In the team, the club he's playing for, and the accusation coming here and there, not just on him but also on the club. So Mr. Raf, so much on the plate this morning as regards this.
Okay, a lot of things have been, in fact Osimhen has been on the spotlight recently for I don't know, I would say not so good reasons, aside from the goals that he scores for the team. You know, some are saying he's not maybe performing to par as they expected him or they expect, because maybe Icardi is not on ground, so he misses Icardi. And then recently an information came out that he punched a reporter or a journalist or so, and he has come out to debunk it, and even going further to say he's going to sue and so on and so forth. And the only time I heard Osimhen's name mentioned side by side with cheating was when one of the Turkish legends said Osimhen is a cheat. Now, what does he mean by saying Osimhen is a cheat? You know, when we were young and we used to play game, and some players have all the attributes in the game, all the skills, everything. So we call such players cheats because they could do almost everything you want them to do. So that was what this legend was making reference to, that Osimhen apparently was at that point in time bigger than that league itself. That is a cheat for that team. With him in that team, it's almost impossible for anybody to beat them. Do you understand me? But coming to hear match fixing and what have you, I think I would just take it as one of those things people say when they don't have when you don't have what it takes to prove it on the pitch. You begin to think there are other things attributed to why this team is always winning. Is it because of this guy? Is there something this guy is doing? And you can all see it on the pitch or on the field of play, that he gives his all on the field of play. Definitely. So until they come out with concrete evidence as to say like the case of Maduka Okoye and Udinese, that I think he has been given 4 match is it 4 match or 4 months 4 months ban for now, prior to the investigation that is ongoing, until the Turkish body comes out to say something otherwise. I just think maybe somebody is trying to play a funny one on Osimhen.
Okay, because it's actually surprising when you know that someone is doing so well and a whole lot of allegations here and there just to tarnish his reputation and even that of the club.
Yeah, the Godwin, the African proverb says you can't throw a stone to a tree that has no fruit. It's a tree that bears fruit that you throw stones at. So I think all these are coming as a result of his performance, his fruitfulness.
Yeah.
He's all over everywhere. When Galatasaray is playing, it's always Osimhen. People are chanting Osimhen.
That's why that legend called him a cheat, because now Osimhen is one of those people who bring the fear factor. You know, like when
every defense.
Whenever there was a picture that was circulating one time. The latest game he played, and they were going to play, is it a free kick or a corner kick? You could see, if you check, I wish the producer can put the picture on the screen. You will see Osimhen. You can only see his head, and then four
defenders were already
were on him like sandwich. You get that's the picture on your screen. You go see. You're wondering what is happening.
What is happening there?
Do you understand? Now this is somebody who plays, and with all his energy, you need at least more than one person to be on him. I think they've not seen such energy before, and they are seeing this and wondering. You know, there was a time that Nigeria played the '94 World Cup. After the game against Argentina, they had to call Maradona and Daniel Amokachi to go and test them for drug, because it was not, they couldn't understand.
They couldn't understand, and compared with the fact that there is this black and white races and all those things,
they couldn't understand where that energy was coming from, and it appeared that Amokachi was just, why we call him the bull, because of the old energy and all, and we all know how Maradona's own case ended.
All right, thank you. So moving on right now, we'll still stick on to Osimhen as we begin talks on the transfers currently pending or ongoing. Galatasaray had turned down bids for Osimhen. Napoli, beg your pardon, Napoli has turned down bids for Osimhen from Galatasaray. So a few others that are on the list. But do you think Osimhen would want to go back to Napoli? Because last I know it that there were some side talks and some disparitions before he left for Galatasaray on loan.
Now the question is there a place in Napoli for Osimhen? That's the main question itself, because Conte made it very clear that he didn't want Osimhen. Do you understand me? And that was why Osimhen was not even in his plan. And if you check Napoli right now, they're in the top of the Italian league and they're doing well. Do you understand me? Well, I think the only reason why they are rejecting such amount of money for Osimhen is because they believe they should be able to get more from a player of his caliber. Not just every Tom, Dick and Harry just brandish any amount and we throw him away. Yes, we don't want him in our squad, but at the same time, we'll not let him go for free. Do you understand me? So I think they want to get good money for a player like him.
But trying this I think this is in the African sense. This is big eye. They are showing big eye for what? Because now, if at the end of this season now his loan contract expires with Galatasaray,
he comes back to Napoli. He could possibly be a free agent or free player. He will not be a free agent until his contract with Napoli expires. And I don't think that will be anytime soon. So there's a likelihood that he will still go out on loan again, maybe to Galatasaray, or if he wants to test new waters. If I'm the one, I will test Arabian water. Go on loan to Saudi Arabia, make the Arabian money. So I think that's what will eventually happen. But let's see how it goes.
And then, you just mentioned the Arabian waters, and I'd like to point out to the bids that we thought that was a sealed deal just a couple of hours ago between Boniface and one of the Arabian Al-Nassr. Yes, thank you very well. And it just shocked me this morning to see that the deal has been cut off.
I don't think they've cancelled it. I think what happened is that, when people blow things out of proportion. Now, that's why during the summer market period, I try not to pay attention to whatever it is that's happening there. I just want the season to start, so we know the player that has moved to this club and have moved to this club.
But Al-Nassr can only take one strike, and they are they are up for two persons. They were bidding for two persons, but I think the one for Duran from Aston Villa has been sealed, and so with that they can no longer.
Is that what the Daily said that they've sealed? And so that's why I said I would wait
for medicals today
until he finishes that medicals. We have seen people who go for medicals and they end up not finishing whatever it is that they are doing. You know how Nigerians can be. Just like something happened last week or 2 weeks ago, where an amateur footballer in Nigeria tweeted on X to Sevilla to say, I would like to do a trials in your club. And then the person, whoever it is, I don't know if it's a real Sevilla handle or somebody just disguised as Sevilla handle and said, if you can get 1,000 likes on X, we'll give you a shot. I don't think that thing lasted up to 1 hour. It was more than 1,000. Nigerians kept sharing it. Let's finish. Make we show them who will be. Make we show them. The thing was more than 1,000. I'm telling you. And then the person now had to quickly change the name back and say, sorry, you'll not be Sevilla. This one, that one, no. Do you understand? Now, why am I trying to say this? Yes, there must have been a hint about Al-Nassr going for Boniface. Nobody knows the nitty-gritty of whatever it is that was happening. But the moment Nigerians said, Al-Nassr is going for Boniface, and if I thought you're going for Boniface, this is how much you're going to be paying for Boniface. Every media house just started 90-something billion. Yeah. Go for you. Some media houses were even using it as a top topic in their discussions. If you are the one, will you go? Will you not go? So it almost feels like they have signed him. When in real essence, everything is still in the surface. So I will not see it as maybe they've already signed him, they're not throwing him away to carry on. No. Because nobody came out to say we have signed him. We now saw John Duran. No, we don't want him again. We want John Duran. Mind you, that same John Duran is on the radar of Arsenal and other teams also in the EPL. So until, for me, I always wait for the season to start because I don't want, because the one that Arsenal is doing alone is enough to give you an attack. Because on the dailies, Arsenal is linked to everybody, even me. They are linked to me. Right now,
they are making beats for you.
They are bidding for me too.
But Ebuka, I just feel Ralph is trying to play safe here. But just to still bring him to the sport, if you place what's it called now, Boniface and Durant side by side, who do you think this club will sign?
You can't place it that way.
Okay.
Because if you there are two different type of players, and mind you, Duran rarely plays 90 minutes.
Okay.
We've always they've told me recently as super sub he comes, and when he comes on, he scores. And Boniface on his good day gives you a 90 minutes, and then mind you, Boniface and Leverkusen went unbeaten last season.
Would you say 90 minutes with good delivery?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I brought the fact
Boniface
that
went unbeaten for 51
with Leverkusen, the first game, I think the first and only game they lost was the Europa Cup final
against Atlanta. Yeah.
And you only have a player as good as him playing in that team week in, week out. Do you understand me? But it depends on whatever it is. First and foremost, how much is on the table and what the club itself needs at that point in time. Mind you, they have Ronaldo. They have Ronaldo there.
So that's why they can only take an additional one striker, because I believe they already have the striking power when you talk about
Cristiano Ronaldo. And then you have Sadio Mane.
Yeah, exactly.
They're only buying because I think what's his name is leaving the club. Talisca is leaving the club from Fenerbahce, so they need somebody to replace him.
All right, so we're still talking about some of the transfer gist. We still have a few on the front page of the Punch Sports Extra, where we have the story on Real Sociedad I move for Chukwueze, and then Europe's most wanted Onyedika on PSG, Bayern, Milan, Dortmund, and Porto's readers ahead of transfer deadline. This young man just came up from nowhere and scored against Man City.
It's not nowhere. It's not nowhere. It's not nowhere. He has been there for a while. Yes, young, but has been playing for a while. Mind you, he was the one that I think equalized against South Africa at the World Cup qualifier. He has been there for a while.
I'm making reference to last night's match.
Of course, everybody don't expect Onyedika to be the one to score because he's one of their holding midfielders, and of course he's a very good footballer. I don't know why he's not been getting the chance at the Super Eagles, if you check his stats in Club Brugge in Belgium, you will know that he's one of their very important players. But then again, I'll say it again, I do not listen to all this marketing, whatever. I wait for the season to finish. But I have a problem with Nigerian footballers. I have a problem with them. There was a time there was Julius Agawa, who was on the radar of Arsenal, Manchester United, PSG, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus. I can't remember the other club. Guess where he ended up? Esperance of Tunisia. And we know how he was problem getting him to come and play for Nigeria then, to the point they even seized all his documents that he couldn't even leave Tunisia at that point in time. Someone that was hot at the point in time, and then you have a lot of players who you think are a lot of big clubs are bidding for them, and then they end up with the club that you cannot even piece together. Now, how did you end up here when this whole club, when I saw the news about Onyedika being looked at by all these major clubs, the question you want to ask yourself is, hope this is not another what's it called, because they want to sell their papers, they put all these things on the dailies, and that's why I don't listen or read on any of this news. I just wait and see which player has moved from one point to another, because the deadline for the January transfer I think ends tomorrow. So when it ends, we'll know who is who and who has moved to where.
All right, thank you. So, Godwin, because of our time, let's just quickly move into the hot water, as I might want to describe it. Just a couple of hours ago, about this time yesterday, a whole lot of things were running through a whole lot of team managers and team minds, having to talk about the UEFA Champions League match day, the events that happened yesterday, with all 36 teams played simultaneously at the same time. And by the end of yesterday night, we now have all those who are moving on to the round of 16. So let's look at the overall performances of the teams on the UEFA Champions League. We now have the Liverpool, who had gone unbeaten for 7 matches, lost to PSV yesterday, and Arsenal was almost going.
Lucky. Let's say
almost going. although they are on the those people who have automatically qualified, who are not going to do the playoff list. They were almost going last night, but
even like I said behind the scene, I say even if Arsenal had lost, Arsenal would have still qualified.
That's the point. I was saying that they are already marked as those who have qualified. So having it in mind that Liverpool, Arsenal, Barcelona had qualified already, we still saw good results last night, especially from Barcelona and Arsenal. But Liverpool was giving go to go. And all of a sudden,
it was still a good game. It was still a good game.
Yeah. So what's your general overview of the performances of the last? This is the inaugural stage for the Champions League. So what's your overview of this?
What I would say is that a lot of these teams gave a good account of themselves. Kudos to what's it called, the English teams. At least we have 3 of them qualifying automatic. Aston Villa, Arsenal, and then Liverpool. And you have Barcelona and Atletico Madrid doing same. We only have 1 French team in that list, and then you have Inter Milan, I think, making the. Then you have what's it called, Lille of France and Inter Milan. Then you have Bayer Leverkusen making the top 8. Other teams left it late. Teams like Real Madrid, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, Juventus, AC Milan, they all left it. They left it late. PSG also, they left it late. For PSG, PSG licked those people like ice cream yesterday. It's like they were angry. And then you could see how Pep was really celebrating, because it was
at the moment Onyedika scored, we could see the tension on his face,
because they didn't need a draw. All they needed at that point in time was a win. So Onyedika scoring was adding salt to injury, and they needed to dig deep, and of course they really dug deep. If you look at the table, you will see a lot of shaking up a lot of shaking up was done that yesterday. But I'm still trying to wrap my head around this what's it called? Knockout stage, how it's going to play out. I don't know, maybe somebody will have to explain to me. Maybe the top, the from the what's it called, from 16, so I beg your pardon, from 9 to 24. I think they'll play.
Yeah, they'll do a playoff, like who
do a playoff before they now go to the round of 16. Now, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that, because why the people at the top are resting and waiting. But you know how football is. Football is crazy. You can find somebody who is part of this 16 playing a playoff and then go ahead to go and beat those teams waiting up there. And that's why what's it called? The whole idea of teams who won tournaments not playing qualifiers was scrapped, because a lot of them just go and relax, and then when the new tournament comes, you find that a lot of them are kicked out on the group stage because they were not as prepared as the team that are coming. You get? So it's still going to be a plus for the teams that are going to be playing these qualifiers before the round of 16, because it keeps them in good shape and keeps them prepared for the team they are going to meet, because in their mind these 8 teams, they are very good, they are this, they are that, and if those 8 teams above don't do as much as I expected, who knows, they can be knocked out. And like I said, last night was fire for fire, because we saw goals everywhere. I don't think we had a 0-0 draw yesterday. There was at least a goal in each of the games.
All right, so do you expect the same harvest of goals we saw last night in tonight's Europa League matches?
It's still going to happen. It's still going to happen, because a lot of teams also, one of those teams is Manchester United.
Yeah.
Going to Romania to go and look for points. They need that point. And of course, irrespective of wherever it is you are playing, as long as you need that point, you need to go and get it. Irrespective of wherever PSG went somewhere else to go and get the point they needed. Arsenal went somewhere else to go and get the point they needed. A lot of teams went abroad to go and get the points that they needed. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a home game. So you are going to see the same. In fact, it was so much that MultiChoice couldn't air all the games. Some of us would carry remote and switch to this, carry remote and switch to this, and then somebody said they should have done it like a Zoom view, where all the game will be on the screen. So you just be person no blind.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Rafa. Just quickly, I'm trying to rush so that we could get few things before we leave the studio this morning. So last week edition on this show, what was on our mind, on our mouths, was the Blues. It was the Man City or Chelsea Blues. And at the end of last weekend's EPL matches, we saw that there's a greater blue. That's the Man City blue ahead of the Chelsea blue. And so today now, let's now look towards the angle of the game against Arsenal
against City.
So quickly, let's get your overview for predictions. For the matches to be played this weekend, most especially your team against Manchester City.
But before then, Ebuka, I just still want him to respond to the last match Arsenal played that got them a red card.
Okay. I think that's there's on circulation that the match
has been overturned.
Yes,
it has been overturned. The red card has been overturned,
and the player who is supposed to miss to be
City game is going to
sit away for 3 matches will no longer sit out for 3 matches.
And that's because our independent body looked at it critically and discovered that was not even a red card.
And it looks like anytime that same man, I don't want to mention his name, officiates match against Arsenal, he grants them cards freely.
And you know why it's painful is that after he does that, watch every other game after that game, you discover that same offense, there's no card given for such same offense. So it now tells you that there's something. Now, you gave a red card that's been contested. The person in the VAR was supposed to call your attention to say, come and see, because every pundits, coaches, even opposition players said this is not a red card. Offense. We know we've played football, even if we've not played to the highest level, to our level that we played. There's what we call professional foul. Sometimes you just use your shoulder to check the person so that you reduce the person's space and what have you. And everybody knows the standard is yellow card, because, and you can't even say, like one of the pundits said, that if at all you're giving him red card because he stopped a goal scoring opportunity, that's rubbish. Goal scoring, he was just picking the ball from what's it called, his own 18. That if it was people like maybe Theo Walcott that picked, or Usain Bolt that picked up the ball, before they even get to the middle, somebody would have apprehended them at that middle and collected the ball. So which goal opportunity are you talking about? And then the guy that tripped him was not even the last person. If you check the line of players, so it just shows you that it's just like somebody waiting for an opportunity
to flash a red card.
To do something.
That match gave 2 red cards, one to Wolves, one to.
Do you understand? Now the Wolves one was a straight red card, but because that guy had a yellow card, that was the second yellow card. But that guy's offense is what you would term as a straight red card, not this one, because it's a professional foul. Because everybody came for corner kick and want to counter attack me. Oga, Mourinho will tell you. In fact, if that guy pass you and you don't do anything, Mourinho will call you out and send you out. I've seen Mourinho put a player on the match, and then in less than 10 minutes, what I say, he brought him out back again. Nobody will send you go. Come, let's say no, understand what I speak. Come on. Do you understand me? He will tell what happened to what's it called? His Chelsea days. Is the last period in his Chelsea days when the doctor ran onto the pitch to go and treat a player. He asked, "Who sent you?" Now me tell that guy, made the guy like that. Who sent you to go treat them? And that was why that lady was removed, and then he started having problems with the players and so on and so forth. You have a VAR for crying out loud. If you give a, now imagine what it makes you look like, and this goes to everybody. Maresca, I bring Maresca to this also. People were complaining that Sanchez is a calamity goalkeeper. He keeps costing them games. And Maresca will come out and say, I'm defending him, he's good. At least he saves some balls. If you save, don't give them the one to score us. Manchester City, Chelsea. Ask me what Sanchez was doing outside. And then Alan scored. The same Maresca now is looking for a goalkeeper. Now, PGMOL coming to back Oliver, that is a red card. After the whole world is saying it's not a red card, now an independent body coming to say that is not a red card, so we're overturning it. What does it make you as a body? It means you don't know what you're doing. Do you understand me? You don't necessarily have to stand by people when they do things. People make mistakes. You can say, it's a mistake. Okay, what if that game had ended and Arsenal lost the game? Do you understand me? Right. But coming to this week's game,
yes,
I don't know. I want Arsenal to win this weekend's game. Take advantage of the fact that City has not been themselves of late. Even though 1 week they will win, the next week they're struggling to get a point. I pray this is the week that they're struggling. And so Arsenal gets a point. Arsenal gets a point
against Man City. All right, Mr. Godwin, what's your final word as we wrap up the show for today?
All right, mine is still sticking with all the teams getting themselves prepared for the AFCON competition. I wish them the best, but above all, I wish our Nigeria that the chances that we couldn't convert to being champions of the last competition will all be converted and used judiciously this time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. For me, I still hope that Arsenal loses the match so that I could have a little more balance at my top position. All right, viewers, it's going to be an exciting evening tonight as we sit to watch a couple of teams battle for the next stage spot in the Europa League, and also we look forward to the weekends where we have the English teams battling to unseat their opponents on the table. Until we come your way again next week, Now Streaming continues tomorrow, but we will be back on the sports special next week, Thursday. And until then, I want you to remember that you're not alone. Goodbye.